welcome back to the A to B podcast. I am Albert Ramos. I am your host, and today I'm joined by...
I'm not Barry.
Wait a second. Yeah, man, where the hell did... Barry was in part one of this podcast. What happened to Barry? Did you eat Barry?
I ate Barry.
Oh, my God.
He went straight to my bicep because
hey.
he opened up the last podcast as Barry Bicep, so I took it as disrespect. So,
oh, damn. Where's he at, though? Hey, man, I'm joined here today by my co-host, George Gamboa. He is a personal trainer and an active duty Marine still currently in Cherry Point?
Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Cherry Point, North Carolina. I hear that's where dreams go to die. Is that true?
Negative.
No, okay, well, if you guys didn't see part one of this podcast, you guys will be able to see that George is probably one of the most high-intensity, positive people that I've probably ever met in my entire life. That's good because he's into bodybuilding and he's also into coaching, into fitness coaching. So that's very good because obviously that attracts a lot of people because that's something that I definitely struggle with every morning when I wake up. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. But brother, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing phenomenal, bro.
Okay.
Again, thank you for having me here again.
Of course, man. Hey, I saw that you were in Camp Pendleton. I saw one of your stories on Instagram, and I saw that you were training. And I was like, man, last time I talked to this dude, he was in North Carolina, and then all of a sudden he pops up here. So you're here for one of your clients' competitions?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my clients, he competes on Sunday. Jason Joe, he's going to compete in classic physique and men's physique at the MPC Excalibur in San Diego, California. This is our third competition together, but our first one that I'm able to be there with him physically because
awesome.
This is a great story. This Marine, he approached me at the commissary and he said, "Hey, Staff Sergeant, how you doing? I follow you on Instagram. I see that you're a bodybuilding coach. I really want to get into bodybuilding one day." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, for sure, bro. Like, hit me up. Just send me a message. We'll talk." I can really gauge how someone will look underneath, like, a shedding. Like, let's talk about bodybuilding as in being a sculpture, right?
Yeah.
Nobody walks around bodybuilding ready. That's 3%, 4%, 5% body fat.
Yeah.
Everybody walks around with a little bit of clay. But I've been doing this for such a long time that I can know, like, wow, this dude has it. And it's typically like the athletic background. So growing up, I think he played football and he was just an athlete in general and always in the weight room.
Okay.
But now going into wanting to pursue bodybuilding because bodybuilding is coming up and people are very into it. It's a whole different realm. It's a whole different realm where it's not only lifting weights, because if you're into fitness in general, most people really do enjoy lifting weights. Most people really do like going, like, I like working out. I feel good. But then it's like, all right, what's your diet? Like, oh, no, I love food too much. Like, hey, I do this. Can you wake up at this time to do this? No, I couldn't do that. It doesn't fit to like my schedule. So bodybuilding is very interesting. And I love grabbing younger driven men to bodybuilding because it just makes them that much better, because bodybuilding is a 24-hour clock. Bodybuilding, you have to do everything according to your end goal or your end product, which is yourself on stage, is going to suffer. You decide to cheat on your diet. You decide to not sleep enough. You decided to skip out on whatever supplements you need to take. You just don't do what you need to do. It's going to pay the consequences at the end, and you're going to look back and regret it. So I love having like younger individuals who are driven for better, and I grab them and I introduce them to the bodybuilding lifestyle, and then I'm able to speak their language because most of them are service members as well. Yeah. So I understand, hey, you're not married, you're just going off the chow hall, we can do that. There's no one set way. Everybody thinks of like, I just need to eat rice and chicken and that's it. No, there's a lot more that goes into that. But grabbing that stuff, putting yourself in your own suffering, right, creates this mental resiliency that you're able to just apply it to any concept of life, any goal, any Marine Corps goal, any business goal. You really become unstoppable, because for bodybuilding, it's you versus you every single day. And if you looked at like that perspective on whatever goal you have to achieve, if you don't let yourself down because you refuse to know that at the end product, hey, if I don't give this amount of effort to my business today, I'm not going to be as successful tomorrow.
Yeah. Now, how do you relate? Because obviously you are a logistics chief,
Correct.
an embarkation chief. Okay, so how do you relate that back into your job? And the reason why I say that, right, is because there's probably people that are gonna be seeing this podcast and be like, man, like that takes a lot of dedication. That takes a lot of effort. But I guess my question is, what would your Marines say? Is he the type of leader that's present? Is he the type of leader that's always talking about bodybuilding and that's it? You know, like what type of leader are you?
I'm a servant leader.
Okay.
Same way I'm a bodybuilding coach. I put my people first because that's where I feel the best. Same thing with my son. I'm giving everything to my son because I'm in a position now, 9 years in the Marine Corps. I'm a staff NCO. I don't need to, right? I don't need to do all the I don't need to go on this deployment if I could give the opportunity to someone else that hasn't gone to.
Yeah.
I do what I'm supposed to do, and I put my full passion and effort into them because what I am to them is what I needed when I was a younger Marine.
Okay.
So I'm just the person I needed back then for them. So I am present. I take a different type of approach when it comes to leadership style. Like I said, servant leadership, right? It's basically saying, to elaborate, that, hey, because you work for me, technically on a hierarchy, I work for you.
Yeah.
I'm here to be a shield. I'm here to make your life easier, basically. I'm here to help you out because you're helping me out.
Yeah.
When it comes to
now, but what does people, let's say, you know, one of your Marines, do you have any Marines on BCP right now?
Negative.
Okay.
I've had Marines that I would walk into a unit and have on BCP, and I can get them off BCP in a couple months.
Okay. So the reason for it is because of that, right? Like, let's say, for example, you know, what would you say to those Marines that don't share the same, or the same, or service members, right, that don't share like the same mindset as you? Because obviously, you, from the previous podcast, which you guys can see right here, you mentioned that you got into bodybuilding at the age of 14, if I'm not mistaken, and that by the age of 16, you were already going beast mode. Your first bodybuilding competition was at the age of 18, right before you joined the Marine Corps. So, you know, let's say, for example, somebody doesn't want to share that mentality with you, right? Like, how would you lead them?
So there's two portions to this. One portion is the junior Marines are like children. They won't always listen to you, but they will emulate.
Okay.
So let's elaborate on that first portion. If you become an undeniable example and you literally live happy, positive, bro, that's a whole universal language. Everybody wants to be happy or positive. You know what I'm saying? Nobody walks around like, yeah, let me get depressed today. Let me be upset today.
Yeah.
So every single place I've gone to, for the most part, unless something else happens, my Marines follow suit. My Marines get into the gym. If they haven't been in the gym, they start going to the gym.
Without you having to even
Without me, because they will emulate. Because they see how I carry myself. I lead by example and set a standard. I'm out MPT with them because that's where I find joy. And that's the problem. The thing is, leaders will say, hey, do this, it's right, but won't do it themselves. Now you're a hypocrite. I refuse to ever be a hypocrite. I refuse to ever be able to coach an individual to a better lifestyle, to a better body, and me not live it. You know what I'm saying? That's just hypocrite behavior, and I refuse to ever be called a hypocrite. So, and then the last portion is you only can control the variables that you can control, and you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 because junior Marines are more moldable. But there is some people that will be stuck in their ways. Because upbringing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like joining the Marine Corps at 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old. But their upbringing was that time frame, you know what I'm saying? So they're stuck in this mentality. It depends if you are that good of a leader. Are you that leader that is able to do such a transformation to a human being that you can undo 18 years? It's possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
It's just you have to be what they need. You need to remind them that, bro, why'd you join? Hey, you joined for a better life? Okay, what does a better life look like? People get stuck in this box. That's the right question to ask. Yeah, people just get stuck in this box, man. They get stuck in this box where they're like, you know what I ask my Marines or anybody I come across with where I see like they're kind of just like going through the motions? What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? What do you?
Yeah, some people won't even answer that. You know.
But the thing is, some people don't know
the answer.
Exactly.
Some people don't know the answer to that. That's the real thing.
Man, I came across this individual the other day, and he's a 22-year-old, just a dude. He's not a Marine or anything. But I saw him. He's like little tattoos and all this stuff. He like pink hair, whatever. I'm like, hey, bro, like, what are you passionate about? Says, I don't know. I'm still trying to find him out. I was like, what do you like to do that brings you like peace or you feel good? He's like, well, I like going to the mountains. Like, I like going to hang out in the. Okay, bro, you know what you should do for like the next year? Try to do things that bring you back to that feeling that you get in the mountains. Because every single thing I do right now give me the feeling how I'm supposed to feel every single day and how I feel my best. I don't operate anywhere that I feel bad. Like if I have a sense of like, I don't really like this feeling, I'd rather not. Because it's kind of weird because I feel my best being a father, being a good Marine, being a fitness positive role model, right? So I can't break character and I can't get influenced by others. I go to staff at CO Academy. I'm a very personal person. I think people like to hang out with me. You know, I'm a pretty cool dude. I think so. Maybe you tell me differently. So, but after class and stuff, they're like, "Hey, yo, bro, like, let's go drink. Let's go hang out." And I'm like, "No, I'm good, bro." They're like, "Oh, come on, why not?" And I'm like, "Bro, don't take it disrespect. I love you, but I love myself more." And I love myself enough to respect myself to know if I go out with you guys right now, go drink some type of alcohol, go do whatever, I will have such a sense of regret the next morning because I won't wake up on time or I won't.
So you don't drink?
No, I don't drink.
You don't drink?
I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do any recreation. I don't do anything.
Okay.
Because I know the consequence. And the same concept is we had a field trip to Wilmington to like a battlefield study. Afterwards, we went to this like nice like restaurant. Right? Wilmington is the beautiful city in North Carolina. So we went to this restaurant. I forgot what it was called, but it had like special type of food. You know what I'm saying? Not like your average food, but like, hey, you got to come to this place to try this type of stuff, right? It was very like fatty, greasy, like biscuit, chicken, and smothered gravy. Bro, I got the egg whites and oatmeal. And they're like, Gamboa, how do you do that? And I'm like, bro, trust me, dude. That looks amazing. That I know it tastes amazing.
So you don't take not even one cheat meal?
Bro, I'll retract the statement. The only time I do like a cheat meal is when I find some type of fulfillment or enjoyment, which is my kid. My kid says, Dad, like, let's go grab a pizza. Like, I'll eat like a slice of pizza with him. Or I'll grab for the most part, on like a day-to-day basis, I'm not gonna sacrifice my own feeling and my own well-being to satisfy others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like
100%.
They're like, how do you do that? It's like, bro, if I eat that burger, if I eat that biscuit, whatever the case
Shit,
might
that
be,
happens to me more frequently than what it does, and it happened to me. It actually happened to me. This we were talking about it off camera. I've been going back to the gym. I've been going back to the gym for like 3 weeks because I got out of the Marine Corps. I started seeing the vet gut coming in, and I was like, man, I need to get back to the gym. But to be honest with you, man, like my body's like all fucked up. And I told you that my back was like locked for like the entire back week, last week, because I was at the gym and then I thought I was still 22, and then I was doing deadlifts, and then my back just completely locked out, like it gave out. And I was in pain, like severe pain. So my body's been messed up, but that didn't stop me or deter me from getting back into it. Because usually, in back, a couple of years, that automatically would have stopped me from going to the gym. It simply would have stopped me from going to the gym. I'm just being real, right? Because I don't want to be a hypocrite either. Like I've been trying to get on it, but this weekend, dude, I ate whatever the fuck I wanted to. So I wanted a Cinnabon. Dude, those things are so good. But I wanted a Cinnabon. I ate a fucking Cinnabon. And those type of things. But in the gym, that's when I'm like, fuck, I really shouldn't have fucking ate that. Because, and now that I'm out of the Marine Corps, and I think this is one thing that I think you can talk on, because in the Marine Corps, you know how we do it by weight. Because you got to meet the height and weight standard, unless you're 285 and 285.
I mean, I've never met a height and weight standard. I just get taped out, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, but you see, do you get a 285 and 285 or above?
Right now? No, I think 270 and like 290.
Yeah, see? So the thing is, if you don't do that, you have to meet the height and weight standard, unless of course you're chipped like yourself, and then you don't have to worry about the actual body fat composition. But for regular people like me, which I would say we are about 90% of the Marine Corps, including the 10 tier 2 Marines that are not into bodybuilding. Bro, for me, it was like I'm still having to get over that of like, man, I can look good. I don't have to meet the scale. Which luckily for me in my military career, I never really had to. But then now that I'm in the Marine Corps, I'm 180 right now. Just so that way for reference, right? Yeah. I'm 180. I weighed myself this morning and I was like, my max weight is 175. So I'm like, man, like I need to drop 5 pounds. And I'm like, nah, man, like I don't need to drop 5 pounds. It's only 5 pounds and I can look good because I really like how I look right now. Of course, I'm trying to trim some of this off, but that's it. Like I don't really care, for being like, even though it will look great, probably my wife would probably really love it, but that's just the way that I look at it. Now, my next question to you is, what do you think of the FFI program?
Oh, I think it's like phenomenal. To be honest, I really want to go to FFI. If I get the chance, I'm going to try to, depending on op tempo, depending on what's happening at work, I'm going to try to go. Yeah. And I think the next class is like April.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, the FFI program is the Force Fitness Instructor, where literally you get a whole different MOS, and your MOS is fitness. You are in charge of the fitness for your actual unit. Yeah. And of course, you would make a perfect candidate for that because that is what you're truly passionate about. My only problem with the FFI, and I would have loved to, because I was the SE training chief, I would have loved to have someone like you in my unit, man, to where you're super passionate about that type of stuff, because essentially that's what it is. The problem that I see that a lot of people have is that whenever they get sent just because they need to fill that billet, and all of a sudden you have somebody that's not as passionate about fitness, and it's just because, oh well, we can't send a corporal. Like let me put you an example. When I was at S3, I had 2 sergeants that was in charge of me. That I was in charge of then. I'm sorry. That well, they were kind of in charge of me, but anyway, that's a whole different story. That I was in charge of them, and I was like, the MacMap program, and the FFI program were 2 of my biggest struggle.
Really?
Yes, because one of them, he was a gunny. Yeah. He had like 2 or 3 tabs, like the red tabs. Yeah. He was a gunny, and then he was always tasked out. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was always doing other things. He tried to do it. Don't get me wrong. He did his best.
Yeah.
But the CEO had a timeline. Like, she had like goals that she wanted to meet. You know, and that gunny couldn't always meet those timelines that the CEO really wanted.
Was he solely responsible? Was he the only individual?
Well, that's the thing. The other ones were hidden. He wasn't the only one, but I was sent out a mass email like, hey, where are all the instructors at? Oh, nobody would respond. None of the companies would respond. That's the first thing. And then for the FFI, the other one was another gunny that was in charge of the FFI program, and it was always a hassle to trying to get those two to actually take charge. I had conversations with them too. It was like, listen, I don't care if you do it or not. You have instructors. You train the fucking instructors.
Exactly, yeah.
You know who they are. You're in charge of the program. You do it. But my resolution for that, which was what I was trying to do, is like, I got 2 sergeants. One of them can be the McMap.
Yeah.
In charge of the McMap. Yeah. The other one would be in charge of the FFI. You keep them within the S3 because that's who's in charge of those programs. It's the training section. And then now I have direct influence over them.
Yeah.
Instead of me having to go beg another gunny to do his fucking job. You know? So essentially, guys, like, this is the way that, based on my experience, how it should have been done. Find somebody that's passionate, because it wasn't like I was volunteering those Marines. Like, those Marines would tell me, I want that billet. I want that responsibility. You know? And yeah, I couldn't get it done because you know what the pushback that I got?
What's up?
I'm not going to take that billet away from a gunny. I don't give a fuck if you're a gunny or first sergeant or whatever your job, whatever your rank or billet is. If you're not doing the job, and again, maybe not to take away because they weren't doing the job, because they weren't doing it correctly, because I'm pretty sure they could have, you know, if they would have had the time, they could have run a really efficient program. But Jesus Christ, man, like just let the sergeants be sergeants. They're going to be hungry. How do you feel about that?
Bro, I can take that into a whole long conversation. I don't know if we got whole time, because the main contributing point in there is either assigning or an individual taking on a responsibility they're not passionate about. Bro, I can talk about that in the Marine Corps all day, but then you can talk about, I'll be honest, that in business. You can talk about that in business of people just doing something for the money, because now you start losing the value.
Yeah, but that happens in the Marine Corps too.
Exactly.
A lot of people stay in the Marine Corps because.
And then what do they give? Subpar effort, because they don't care for it. But when it comes to that type of stuff as well, when it comes to those two type of gunnies, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've been in 9 years. I've been to a lot of units. I've seen a lot of staff NCOs. Stuff like that is lack of passion and just like lack of care, because bro, you're not that busy.
Again, I don't want to seem like I'm talking shit about them, because like I don't mind talking shit about people, but I don't think they deserve to be talk shit about, because they were good individuals, like, and they were.
It just wasn't a priority.
Just wasn't exactly.
And the problem is when it's not a priority to them, but it's like a big thing to
maybe
your radar.
Maybe they wanted it to be a priority though, but they had, and that's the thing, right? That's a secondary job. They're not getting their fit rep. They cannot put on their fit rep, I took care of the FFI or the McMap program, and that's another thing, because they were section heads of other things, so they were getting graded on their performance on that section, and the FFI was secondary.
That they lack 2 things. I'm sorry, they're probably phenomenal Marines or whatever the case might be, but they lack 2 things. They lack time management. And then, because I promise, man, there's 24 hours in the clock.
I can agree with that.
Like, depending on what time you walk in, I get it, personal life and whatever the case, but time management. And man, delegation of authority. Like they had the sergeants. Like they had the sergeants that were other or nowhere to be found. That's go find them. Go find them.
That's a very good point.
Go find them. Hey, bro, you are an MAI. You I get it, you have another primary job, but you're part of this program, you're gonna help me out. I mean, sometimes you really have to crack the whip on stuff. Like, leadership is based in like 2 directions. It's compassion and compression. You can be the empathetic leader, you can be the cool leader, you can feel for your boys, you know what I'm saying? But then when it's time to crack, like really be about it and show some compression and snap down on people, like you have to do that too. You have to have those both abilities.
That's very true.
But man, like
let me ask you this, man. Like obviously you have this very entrepreneur, and I think there's more people that can relate with the type of mindset that you have because they have very strong entrepreneur influences in their life, like yourself. Like like I'm pretty sure your Marines see you and they'll be like, man, he's a staff sergeant, he's good to go, and then he has his business on the side. What's the biggest thing that you take away from your Marine Corps career? Because you attributed everything that you were that you have because of the Marine Corps. What's the biggest thing that you take from your Marine Corps career into your business?
Discipline.
Okay.
Just discipline. And then another thing that ties in with being disciplined is, right, being disciplined, like being devoted to that one thing and not breaking character. You know what you got to do, but I'm going to roast you real quick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
It's a consistency, right? Because like how you said, there's been times that you would start working out and then stop.
Oh, yeah.
People look at me and they're like, damn, you're jacked, man.
But you're right. You're right. Because it hasn't been a priority for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm okay saying that. You know what I'm saying?
But regardless, I just, the discipline and consistency together going hand in hand for things that I know I need to do provided me everything I needed. And then it goes back to like, hey, life happens, man. I've been through hardships. We talked about some of my hardships, right? You know what I'm saying? Life happens. Sometimes life hits you with a brick. It's a matter of really getting back to where you need to go on that steady path. Because you're going to get shot down. You're going to like literally lose who you are. The only way you're going to go back to either feeling like yourself, you need to really go back to the basics, like how we said in Marine Corps, excellence in the basics is, hey, what makes me me? Okay, like for example, for me, anytime I've been through real hard stuff, I've been like ugly divorced, deleting my social media and everything. At the time, 2020, October 2020, I was drinking every single day. I was smoking every single day. I was having meaningless relationships all around Japan every single day because I knew I messed up and I couldn't face being alone because I was in my barracks room looking at my phone with a picture of my son and me not being able to be near my son because I messed up. And I was trying to fill a void and literally put a Band-Aid on how I felt by getting temporary satisfaction, temporary pleasures, instant gratification. Hey, I'm going to spend all this money on these clothes because I feel good at the time. Hey, I'm going to sleep with whoever. I'm going to drink right now, party because I feel good right now. But then the next day I don't feel good. I was going to therapy, man. It was wild because at one point I had suicidal ideations. At one point I really did not want to be here. I did not know because all I wanted to ever be was a husband, a father, and I messed that up. But then all I did was excellence in the basics. Hey, basic Jorge, basic George, who are you? Hey man, you're a bodybuilder. You're a positive role model. And I had to get a wake-up call. It was two wake-up calls. It was the mother of my child basically telling me, you're not a role model to her kid. You're gross. Like, you're not it. Like, you're partying and smoking. And then it was a really close friend of mine who was my headmate at the time. I walk into the room and I start bragging about like, hey, bro, yeah, I just went out and I did this and this. And he's like, dude, get out. I was like, what, bro? He's like, dude, I don't want to hear that stuff. Like, get out. And I'm like, it really stuck deep. I'm like, yo, I'm losing all my good friends. All my friends now are not good friends. All my friends now are something dependent group, social dependent, environment dependent, substance dependent group. I'm like, yo, this is not me. I look back, I reflected, said, okay, go back to bodybuilding, create your social media, become the man you need to be for yourself and for your kid. That year, bro, I went to therapy. Again, I said, hey, I'm good, guys. They're like, what? They're like, no, I said, I'm good. I don't need to come anymore. Like, I appreciate everything. I appreciate all the effort, the talks, but I'm good. They're like, okay, you sure? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, call us if you need us. Immediately, I started bodybuilding again. I did this online transformation challenge where I got 10th out of like 1,000 participant and won some like cash and won some free supplements. My social media started getting exposure again. Everything I did in the past, because I started from scratch.
Yeah.
From there on, I started getting in shape. I started modeling. I became a published model. I got
Wow.
on a magazine, which was one of my things I've always wanted to be. I wanted to be a model of some sort. I got on a magazine, then I got published on a book cover. So I was a two-time published model, one for a magazine and one for a book cover. Then from there on, I started getting more people asking me like, dude, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? I've always helped people. Since like 14, 15 years old, either I stuck up from them for like bullies because I used to get bullied and I didn't want people to get bullied, or I'll help them in fitness. One of my best friends, his name's Brennan Rucker. I love that dude to death. He's in South Florida right now. He's doing amazing things. I didn't see the value I provided to people a long time ago, and I didn't get it. I grabbed this dude who was overweight, not confident, never talked to a female ever in his life. 1 year of friendship, lost like 40 pounds, confident, got his first girlfriend. And his parents, I lived in a very wealthy neighborhood, they would always gift me. They'll always give me gifts like Polo Ralph Lauren, like some money here and there. And like, I don't understand, guys. Like, why? Like, I'm just being a good friend.
They were thankful that you put their son.
Because I did something for this son that like they wanted, but it's like they didn't have the ability or like the direction. They're great human beings, but it's like everybody has a purpose and everybody has a passion and everybody has a gift. And that's been my gift. I've always been able to identify a human being and be like, wow, you can be so much more. You just need to do this.
Yeah, but you know something very important that you mentioned whenever, because there's a lot of Marines that go through what you went through with your your ex-wife. Whenever you try to be better and then the other person doesn't see it, meaning you try to be better for the right reasons, and then all of a sudden that other person that you're really doing it for or that you wanted to see it, it goes like, you ain't no role model. You ain't.
I'll tell you something for that, bro. It has to be for yourself.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
But then you have to become undeniable. There has to be no flaw. For example, from there on, right after the published model, I started creating my business. I created Team Gamboa Fitness. I grabbed it was like 7 individuals and I took them to a bodybuilding show in Okinawa, Japan. And then from there on, I took them to another bodybuilding show in the local area of Okinawa, Japan. The team was filled of Marines, Navy corpsmen, and we got recognized. I got interviewed by the Marine Corps on like the Marine Corps Times for my bodybuilding team. I got interviewed by Japan at the time for who we are, because it's like, hey, you just grabbed a bunch of group of Americans and service members, and now you guys are just competing in this team. Yeah. And it all came from, the knowledge I had from bodybuilding, from competing for so many years, but the ability to positively impact someone else and keep them on track, because I've been able to keep myself on track. So I did that for them. And I get it where it says it's like, you're trying to do this for someone else. I did it for myself. And there's times where the mother of my child, again, we're best friends now, but she was like, give up your rights to Leo. I will stop everything. I will make your life better. I won't give you hell anymore. Said no.
And that's essentially my point is like, before you actually do it for other people, you got to do it for yourself. You got to forgive yourself, because
100%.
then other people's opinion of yourself is not your problem. And that I got that from the world okayest Gunny. Other people's opinions about yourself, they're not your problem. And because now people will be able to see, and if they're not able to see it, they have to respect it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's undeniable. that you did it for yourself, that you didn't do it for absolutely anything else. Before we close out, what piece of advice would you give to a Marine right now that is struggling with one, positivity, and second is trying to start an entrepreneur journey?
For positivity, if you live one life, there is only two big energy levels. There's positive or negative. There's good and bad. And that's why there's superhero movies. It's the superhero and the villain. You have an option. Given whatever circumstance you're in, you have an option. So why not just live positive? Why not just look at the brighter side to it? Why not just look at everything, hey, this happened for me and not to me, and then just go about your day, because you can control your emotions, you can control your outlook, but you can't control certain scenarios.
Yeah.
So it's just, hey, just constantly fill your head with positivity, whether it be podcasts, whether it be your group of friends, whether it be the daily activities you do. Make sure everything correlates to bringing back good energy to you. Therefore, there's actually I'm not going to get too religious, but there's a quote in the Bible where it's like, from the abundance of the heart that speaks the mouth.
Yeah, the mouth speaks.
The mouth speaks. Same concept. It's like where you put all your energy, like everything you absorb in your head goes down to your heart, and then comes out. So if you're constantly listening to negativity, if there's someone negativity in your life, I know it's super hard. Yeah. It's super hard, especially if it's family members.
Especially if it's family.
Cut them.
Or family members or senior leaders as well in the military.
It's just understand on...
I see it all the time in real estate, by the way.
Yeah.
See it all the time in real estate. Why are you not buying right now? Oh, my staff sergeant told me it's not a good time to buy.
That's a little bit... That's harder because, for example, personal relationships, you can just, hey, I'm sorry, right now, you don't bring me anything other than bad.
Yeah.
So, cut. And that's hard to do with, like, family and stuff like that. Being in the military is very hard. Yeah. You really have to
gotta see those people.
Yeah, because you have no options, bro. You're under contract for X amount of years. You're in that position. It's just a matter of understanding, being very self-aware that, like, hey, I got it. I'm not gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And then the last portion, what was the last question?
For somebody that's trying to go in or start their because you just started your entrepreneur business with your LLC.
Yes.
So what advice do you have for them since you're going through it right now?
If you don't have an idea or you want to do something, regardless, it's just start. That's it. Just start. Start reaching out to people that you know that do it, either myself or him. And talk to people. People, man, I promise you, like, there's a lot of people that, especially, like, for example, Barry, right? Dude's got like 256K followers on Instagram. People think if you message him, oh, he's too popular, he's not gonna message. Bro, he probably will.
Dude, it happens to me, and I'm like a small freaking...
Yeah, probably, bro, at the end of the day, that number is just a number, and we're still people.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still people. I mean, we're gonna get to you when we can, like, because it's like, sometimes messages do get like overflooded or whatever the case might be, but like just start talking to the right people. But understand, come correctly, because don't come like you're entitled.
Yeah.
Don't come. What I would expect from anybody is being authentic and being a good human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm willing to help you out, just like.
Because I would tell you what has been my experience. My experience, you're 100% right, by the way. But my experience has been that the people that do not come authentic, the people like myself that has tried and failed and done it again, man, I'm gonna smell through that stuff so quickly. I'm gonna smell your intentions very quickly, and then it's not. I promise. If you feel that you're not getting attention, you need to focus on your delivery, like you're saying, right?
And depending on whatever product or services you provide, it's first like. I'm sorry, maybe this might offend anybody that got a college degree, but college degree do not replace invaluable experience.
Yeah, true.
The trial and error that you've been through, man. But that's what people also need to understand. You can find a good mentor that can take you there a quicker route, but be patient, because regardless, it's going to take time.
The good ones, I'm going to tell you this, the good ones either going to get to you, like you said, and I'm just being real. Like, the good ones are going to get to you when they get to you, or they're going to be expensive. That's just how it is. Yeah. And it happens, and you see it a lot in your business.
Well, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like the expensive ones, sometimes that's why I do what I do also, because the fitness industry is saturated, man. Saturated with fake people. Fake people, and it gets me so upset because an individual like me, I've lived this life, bro. Yeah. I'm passionate about it. I love helping others. I love, especially when it comes to like my specific people, getting them on a bodybuilding stage.
Yeah,
bro. Every single shot I have with me hugging my contest prep people, like after they compete, the gratitude they have, because just like Marine Corps, like going through deployments with friends, you build friendships, right? That contest prep was something very hard.
Yeah.
Hardships create friendships.
Good.
Like going through hardships together will create undeniable like love and bond with another human being. But the fitness industry, I'll be honest, man, this thing saturated with like fake people. So that I cultivate an environment in my team where, bro, I don't care if whatever you pay me, you don't act correctly. Bro, you can't get your money back. And you're not going to be associated to my name. Because
your brand is your name. That's what a lot of people don't get.
I set myself to a standard. I hold myself to a standard, and I hold my boys to a standard. And it's like people get lost in the money. Then exactly. Same thing. People lose the passion, lose the purpose, and it's not really what they're doing. They're doing it for the money. Hey, I'm just gonna. I look good. I can help out people. Dish out fake plant, bro. That ain't it.
So you're Hispanic, right?
I am Hispanic.
Do you know who Arcangel is?
Yes, the rapper.
So you know what Arcangel says?
What he say?
Arcangel says, if money changes people, and if money hasn't changed you, it means then you ain't making enough money. That's what he says. That's what he says, because it's 100% right, you know. Like, and I would take it a step further. And money, once you start having money, because bro, I come from broke.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about broke from like my upbringing. I'm talking about from broke that I've managed to get myself broke from the bad financial decisions that I made.
Exactly.
So I come from broke, and then now that I have a little bit of money, it's not even a fraction of what I really, you know, want to obtain for me to be able to do the things. Like, money for me is a vehicle. It's not like an end destination, right? Mm-hmm. So to allow me to do and reach out to the people that I really want, now that I have it, I can see that people's true identities come out.
Exactly.
And then it allows you, with like money, it allows you to be who you really are. You know, two things: either having no money at all, like being against the wall. It shows you who you really are. That's one. And the second is having an abundance of money.
Exactly.
Because it shows you exactly who you are.
There's two reasons for that. Because coming from the bottom, it shows you that you really have that drive to go all the way up.
Yeah.
But now going all the way up, are you able to maintain that drive and that discipline and that character that got you there? Or are you going to start shifting and you're going to start breaking because you start getting infatuated with the money. Money is the root of all evil for a reason, because like people start really losing what they're doing it for. Fitness coaches, you're helping other people. Those are humans. They're not numbers. They're humans.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a positive role model to them, and you put them on a back burner? You think you just take their money and just give subpar effort? Nah, bro. Nah, that ain't it.
Well, now we know, guys. Jorge, I definitely appreciate this conversation that we had.
That was great, bro.
This is definitely a good entrepreneur conversation to have, because there's a lot of people that are going to take a lot of value into this, right? Yeah. Obviously, we went into the fitness industry, but it's good that we actually went into the fitness industry, because there's so many Marines out there that go to the Skill Bridge program to become fitness coaches, and to do this and to do that within the fitness industry. That I'm glad that we were able to talk about this, because I feel that this is going to impact a different type of group within our audience, which is the younger generation that are looking to get into the fitness industry and do all that stuff.
And like we said before, like for real, like anybody that if you really have a passion for this is what you want to do, bro, just reach out. Just hit me up.
Where can they reach out to you?
Gamboa.fitness on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Just send me a DM. Just, hey, I saw you on the podcast. I'll be like, dude, that's awesome. What questions you got? I'll help you anyway. We'll get on FaceTime, bro.
Hell yeah.
We'll get a FaceTime.
So, guys, I definitely appreciate you guys reaching out. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the A2B podcast. You guys subscribe to Ramos_Capital on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I will see you guys next year in 2024, where we bring a lot of content that will bring a lot of value to your career, to your personal life, and to your entrepreneurship journey. We are bringing in a retired, and you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing because this person's not even retired yet. So we're bringing a famous Master Gunnery Sergeant early next year. You guys got to subscribe. Make sure that you guys turn the bell notifications to get notified when our new content comes out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.